So I just recorded about 20 minutes of my September TBR and it got deleted. Thanks, Apple. But anyways, I am 15 days into September and I just realized I never filmed my TBR. So that makes me a terrible booktuber, but you know, I'm trying. I'm reading a lot of books for this month, despite the fact that I'm actually in school and dealing with a lot of homework and papers, but we're gonna try, we're gonna do our best. And I'm actually participating in the Wonderland Read-A-Thon, which I'm gonna give my books out at the end for those. But let's get right into this video because it's actually gonna be really long. So my first book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know much about this book, but it was the pick for the late night book club. And basically, like, you read books at night because, you know, nobody can sleep. We're all insomniacs and we need things to do instead of spending 800 hours on TikTok and then next thing you know, the sun is up and you have class in 10 minutes and you've been on TikTok all night. My personal issues. But anyways, so this story basically follows Evelyn Hugo, who is this huge Hollywood star, and she picks this reporter who's basically like a nobody. Her name is Monique, and she picks her to basically tell her story of how she made it into Hollywood, husband, all of that, like the whole scandalous jazz, and she picks her to do that. Monique doesn't really know why, because she's basically like a nobody compared to this like huge star or whatever. But you know, she's trying to jumpstart her career and she thinks this would be like the perfect opportunity. And I'm actually super excited to read this. First of all, the cover is amazing. It is stunning. But I've heard a lot of good reviews about this book and it's actually been in my Amazon cart for a really long time. And this was a perfect excuse to get it. Also, do not mind my finger. I busted it. I messed up my finger and it really hurts. And I know it looks really ratchet right now with this little cast I got from Walgreens, but I'm trying. It actually really is painful, and this is the only way that I can keep myself from banging it on something or like accidentally bending it and it hurting. But yeah, that's enough about my finger. But the second book, this one I am so beyond excited for. Like, you guys don't really understand how excited I am about this book. I've had this since the day that it came out and I have not read it because I'm waiting for something in the mail to come for me to be able to read it. And I'm actually speaking really fast right now. I'm so sorry. I'm a naturally fast talker. Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Girl, when I tell you I am beyond excited for this book, Twilight is my childhood. It is me. It is who I am. It is who I became. Like, Twilight is the reason I am here. Like, it's what I grew up watching. It's what I grew up reading. It is literally the love of my life, and I'm so excited that this came out this year. I'm so sorry, like getting the glare from my ring light, but this is exactly what I needed for 2020. Like, I needed this book to come out because it's been a very crappy year, and this made it all better. And I'm actually gonna do a whole vlog dedicated just to this book. I want to do it when it rains outside, so like I can feel like I'm in Forks, Washington. And I'm actually gonna wear these Twilight joggers that I bought for myself from the bookish box, but they haven't arrived yet, so I have to wait for them to come in for me to be able to have the full experience. I have not opened this. It's very tempting to open this book, but I'm trying super hard not to open it because I want to wait for those to come in. But Midnight Sun, if I could, I will sleep with this every single day just like this because I love this so much. I love Twilight. And then this one I got on one of my Target runs because basically I've gotten into the habit of when I get a shipment from Amazon with books, I go to Target and get more books. Why? Because I'm a bookaholic. Is it a problem? No. Do other people think it's a problem? Yes. Do I? No. So I will continue to buy books and collect them and read them and have fun with all the books that I have. But, oh my god, I need to get help. But this book is called Crave by Tracy Wolff. And I heard that this book is basically like the adult version of Twilight, or like the upgraded version of Twilight, or whatever the case may be. It's like a vampire story. I don't know much about it, but a lot of people have been saying that they love this way more than Twilight. And I want to see for myself, because I'm a diehard Twilight fan. I think it's amazing. You might not agree with it, but I agree with myself, and that's all that matters. But I want to see what this is all about. I want to see if I love this just the same, or if I love it a little bit more. I probably won't, because Twilight is the love of my life, but we are going to see where this goes and how it turns out. That's all I know about this book, by the way, which is why I'm not giving a lot on the details, because I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked. I don't want to read too much into like the little blurbs or synopsis or anything. Like I want to be genuinely shocked about what goes on in this book. Another book I'm going to be reading this month is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, and it's actually the book of the month for the Howling Pack, which is actually run by my friend Sasha, which you can check her channel down below. And we're basically reading this book for our September, and it basically follows Tavia, who is a siren, and Effie, who is her best friend, and they basically live each other, and sirens are hated by the community. They don't want to know anything about them, but basically Tavia is trying to keep her siren life a secret, and that's all I know so far. I'm actually very confused by the book. I did start reading it. As you can tell, there's a couple of tabs, my post-its, but I'm actually very confused by it. There's this murder that happens against this woman who is a siren, and the whole world just basically turns upside down because more people are paying attention to sirens. And basically in the society, everyone has magical powers, but for some reason nobody likes the sirens because of their cry. I don't know, but I'm excited to see where this goes. And yeah, A Song Below Water. Next, this book I actually spoke about in my TBR for Summerween, but I saw that Olivia Reads a Latte is actually doing a read-along for this month, and it is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I actually started reading it. I think I'm about 6 chapters in. I'm actually pretty much liking it so far. It's basically like this family moves into this new house, and there's like a little path in the backyard in the forest that leads to a cemetery for pets. For some reason, like, all these pets keep dying in this area, and that's all I know about the book, because I want to be surprised, since it is like a horror, thriller, paranormal book. Like, I want to be surprised when those things happen. I'm like a terrible booktuber. You have all these booktubers that talk about like the synopsis and everything, and I'm over here like, I want to be surprised, but it's actually really true. I feel like my responses and my admiration for a book is much more genuine when I'm surprised and I don't know much about the book going into it. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. I feel like it's a better reading experience. I found that when I knew what was going to happen in a book, I wasn't as excited to read it, and I don't know, like, it just didn't feel the same to read it. So being surprised is actually good. Not knowing everything that happens, but knowing the gist of it. So that is why I don't give full descriptions of books in my TBRs or hauls or whatever, in case you guys were wondering. But next book is actually a manga, and it is Tokyo Ghoul, and basically it's this town, and we have our main character, Ken Kaneki. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm terrible with names, as you guys can probably tell, but basically in this town you can't really tell who's a ghoul and who's not. But one day Kaneki is actually bitten by a ghoul, and I guess like when he was bitten, it didn't go through the full way, so he is half human, half ghoul, and he's trying to basically like survive in the society by not eating humans. Like, he doesn't want to eat humans, and he's just trying to survive, and he basically doesn't feel like he belongs in either world, whether it's the human world or the ghoul world. Like, he doesn't belong in any of them because he's not fully human and he's not fully ghoul. So it's like this whole crazy thing, and I actually already finished this volume, and I'm so excited to pick up volume 2 and all the other volumes and then watch the anime for this, because honey, this one, exceptional. But then in one of my Target runs as well, I picked up this book. It's called The Brief History of Unicorns from the Magical Unicorn Society. I love unicorns, as you can tell by my little unicorn thing here. I have a unicorn blanket, unicorn onesie. I have a lot of unicorn things, and I love unicorns. And why was that so fast? I saw this book in Target, and I just had to pick it up. First of all, I had a unicorn, and I found out that there is a series along with this, and there's a quiz in the back that tells you like which unicorn you are, and I got it Storm Chaser, and I feel like it matches me perfectly because it has like my element, it has my trade symbol colors, like it has it all, and I'm super excited to read this for this month. It's more of like a fun read for me. Like, it's not like something like, oh my god, this is for like a goal or whatever. Like, it's just a fun read because it's unicorns, you know? And another fun read for me is actually The Greatest Victories of Wonder Woman. I love comics. I love Marvel. I love DC. I love Wonder Woman. And basically, this is just a collection of all like her greatest victories throughout the years in the comics. And Gal Gadot, I love her. That is my girl. Ever since she was in Fast and Furious, that is my girl. That is my homie. Like, I love her. I love her as Wonder Woman. And I wanted to pick this up for like a cozy day in, you know, like just a fun little read. Because I don't actually own any comics, but next year my goal is actually to have my own comic collection and actually start it and build it up from, you know, antique comics to like modern comics. Like, I just want it all. And this is like my first baby in the collection, and I'm super excited that it's her because I love her. I love female superheroes. Like, I think like they're just so great, and women empowerment, man, we love to see it. But yeah, it's just a collection of her greatest victories. Another book I'm actually going to be reading is called The Midnight Lie by Marie Rakowski. I'm so sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. Again, I'm terrible at names, but basically it says in the back, what would make a good, quiet girl get herself in trouble, especially when she has so much to lose? If you don't know me, I am a very quiet person. I am shy, I am quiet, I do not speak unless I'm spoken to. Well, growing up, I was that way. Now I'm a little more outgoing. I'm still shy, don't get me wrong, I'm still shy and quiet, but I'm a little more outgoing than I was before. And I feel like that really is what brought me to this book. I also picked this up at Target, if you couldn't tell, but that's what drew me to this book. It's like a quiet girl with all this to lose, and then what's gonna bring her out of that shell, you know? Like, is she gonna be blackmailed? That's the only thing I can think of right now, but like, what is gonna happen that's gonna lead her to, you know, basically like exposing herself and losing all the good things in her life, you know? And I'm super excited about this. My friend Rose actually read this book and she told me it was amazing and that I should read it, and I'm going to read it. I'm really excited to read it. Oh, and my friend Cole as well told me that it was a good book, so we love book recommendations from friends. I'm also reading the book Nevermore with my friend Leandra that I met in one of our Discord book group chats. I don't have the book yet because it's still coming in the mail, but I'm going to be reading that as well this month. I'll put a picture of the cover right here. A lot of you already know about it because it's like a really famous book in the book communities. We are finally down to my last 7 books, which are actually for the Wonderland Read-A-Thon. And the book that I chose for the first prompt, which is Read a Book Set in Another World, is Keeper of Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. And I found this book out by Olivia Reads a Latte, who got it in the mail. And I found this edition on Target, which is illustrated and annotated by the author herself. So I'm super excited to see this because I've never owned a book which was annotated by somebody else, and I'm so excited to see like their thoughts and process and their explanations and their theories and all of that. I don't know if that's what she put here, but I'm excited to see that. So basically the story follows 12-year-old Sophie Foster, who's basically a telepath, and basically what that means is that she can hear the thoughts of other people around her, and it's actually made her like an outcast within her family, friends, community, like all of that. But then she meets this sweet boy named Fitz, who also has the same powers as her. And basically through Fitz, she finds out that there's this place where she can go where she will actually be accepted and not feel like an outcast, and she decides to go on this journey to this area actually, and that's basically the basis of the story, and there's a whole series surrounding this, so I'm excited to read the first book, and that is the first book that I chose for the first prompt. The second prompt is Read a Book that is aesthetically pleasing. I chose The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, And I'm actually super upset that this sticker was up here. It's actually supposed to be placed down here, but for some reason they had it up here. I don't know why. It actually bothers me a lot because it covers the title. And I don't like that. But I love this book. I love that the little brown girl and the moon. Because, hello, I love the moon. If you couldn't tell already, I love the moon. Basically, there's this town of people who sacrifice babies to this witch that lives in the forest because they believe that by sacrificing the babies, like, she won't terrorize the town. But she's actually a pretty sweet person, and she feeds starlight to the babies that she gets and gives them to families in this other town on the other side of the forest so they can nourish them, take care of them, love them. And accidentally, she feeds moonlight to this one baby instead of starlight, which actually gives the child magic. That was so weird. And basically the witch decides that she needs to raise this kid on her own because the kid has magic, and you know, she's a witch, so who better to take care of a kid with magic than a witch? But yeah, that's basically the basis of the book, and I'm super excited to read it. That is my second book for an aesthetically pleasing book, and it's also dark colors. I love dark colors. As you can probably tell, I'm always wearing black or some dark color, so aesthetically pleasing book. The third prompt is make yourself a cozy reading snack. And for this book, I actually found this book in Target, and it's called A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer. I'm gonna be honest, I picked this up because of the cover. It has a unicorn, and that's all I know. It looks really pretty, and I'm sorry about the glare from the ring light, but it looks really pretty, and that's why I picked it up, and I wanted to make a nice little snack for it. Maybe I'll make some spooky snacks because I'm in a spooky mood, or maybe I'll make some other snacks. Who knows? But that's the book that I chose for that, and I don't know anything about it because, again, I chose it for the cover. Because we love being... I don't know where I was going with that. 4. Pick up a book for a cozy night in. I love cozy nights in. I usually end up watching Catfish because I've been addicted to Catfish lately, and I watch it every single day while I'm eating, while I'm laying in bed, and basically I want to read a book instead because I cannot spend my entire life just watching Catfish because I'm going to end up running out of seasons. And that is my big dilemma. I felt like Harley Quinn there when she was like, what? Kill all the people? And she's like, voices. I'm sorry, I'm a diehard comic DC fan, so. But the book that I chose for my cozy night in is Stargazing, and it's a graphic novel, and it's so cute, and I just love the art. I flipped through this in Target, and the art was just so pretty, and I can't wait to read it. And basically, Moon moves into this town right next to Christine, and they're complete opposite from each other, and they basically go from unlikely friends to like best friends. And it's basically like, can Christine measure up to the task when need be, because Moon has been such a great friend to her, and she just wants to know, like, you know, when disaster strikes, can I do the same for you? And I think it's a cute little read, and it's honestly gonna go super fast. It is a graphic novel. I can read this in no time. So I chose this for my cozy night in because who wants to read a very complicated book for a cozy night in? I do, but that's not the case. That's not the point. We're gonna read Stargazing by Jen Wang. 5. Pick a book you think you'll love. I actually saw this book on Amazon in one of the suggested things, and I had to pick it up. It's called The Last Fairy Door by N.A. Davenport, and it's Fairies of Titania book number 1. So it's a series. And basically in the back, what if magic can't solve everything? You know how people always say, like, magic is the answer to everything? Not really. They say money is the answer to everything. But in, like, the fantasy magical world, magic is always the answer. Oh, you want some fried Oreos? Poof, fried Oreos. Oh, you want some McDonald's? Poof, have some McDonald's. Like, magic just solves everything. But this book is basically like, what if it can't? What are you going to do then? What are you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat some fried Oreos. What are you gonna do? The next book is Pick a Strange and Mysterious Book, and for that one I chose The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. I mean, look at how pretty that is. Basically follows like this girl, Emmy, whose dad disappeared and her mom is too busy to take care of her, so she sends her to a boarding school, and she's basically under this impression that she's not gonna fit in there. And before she goes off to the boarding school in England, she finds like these letters with these medallions with a bunch of symbols, and basically like she uses them for like comfort or whatever. And she goes to the school and she finds these symbols etched on the walls and books and other areas of the school, and she starts like basically wonder like, does this have something to do with my dad's disappearance? And she gets accepted into the society along with her two friends that she made at the boarding school, and basically it just follows their adventure towards trying to figure out the mystery of these medallions and symbols. And yeah, the last book is actually the group book, which is The Train to Impossible Places by P.G. Bell. It's actually a pretty cute cover. It reminds me of the Polar Express, those hot chocolates from the Polar Express, and it has really cute art in the back, which reminds me of like old Disney. You know what I'm talking about, like Captain Hook, old Disney and stuff like that. Not really sure what this book is about, but I'm guessing it's about a girl that goes on a train to impossible places, and that is my insightful synopsis on this book. But yeah, as you can see, I have a lot of books that I'm reading this month, and it actually probably seems a little bit excessive, but I'm super excited to get through all of them. So if you want to see my thoughts, theories, predictions, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, comment, share, and tune in for my next video, which will be a vlog. But bye, pumpkins. Oh my god, did you see my sign that said hi, pumpkins? That was for you guys. Bye.